Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. GH spoilers. Will Sasha stumble backward with Michael and forget all about Cody? General Hospital, GH, spoilers leak Sasha Gilmore Corbin, Sophia Matson, is finally finding herself in a place to find love again after Brando Corbin's Johnny Wachter death. Eager to move on with Cody Bell, Josh Kelly, there is no other man in her heart right now. But that doesn't mean things couldn't change swiftly as Sasha starts to sympathize more with her ex-boyfriend, Michael Corinthos, Chad Duell, aka the one who got away. Seeing Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen, kissing Drew Quartermain, Cameron Matheson, last month left Sasha wishing she could erase that visual from her memory. But her conversations with Michael since have given her even more pause. She can't help but feel bad for Michael, who remains so clueless about what his wife is really up to. As Willow continues to withdraw from her husband, and Michael finds himself confiding in his old flame, will similar circumstances arise between him and Sasha that leave them feeling just as guilty as Willow and Drew? Willow thought she would be able to put her kiss with Drew behind her, as long as she swore it would never happen again. Unburdening herself to her mother, Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, only helped momentarily. Working with Drew became unbearable, and she quickly found herself wanting to go back to nursing, just to get away from any forced alone time she might have with her husband's cousin. It seems that the more Willow spends time away from Drew, the more fond of him she is growing. Sasha has always carried a torch for Michael, but she tucked it away long ago when Willow pulled him off the market. That never would have happened had Sasha and Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, not given their relationship legs. Regardless, she put it behind her, but she may be kidding herself trying to keep her long ago feelings for him buried as though they don't have unfinished business. Is the time for them to find out where things could have gone between them about to resurface? Last week, we saw Michael and Sasha have a real heart-to-heart moment in the Q kitchen. Further, the topic of whether she would be uncomfortable being around her ex, or vice versa, was brought to the surface when Sasha accepted the job at the Quartermain mansion. Is this all just foreshadowing, reminding us that these two used to be a twosome? Will Sasha's forgotten feelings for him bubble back to the forefront of her mind as she continues to watch him spin his wheels, trying to figure out why Willow is backing away from him? If Sasha and Michael start spending more time together, one thing could lead to another. That's been known to happen between exes in Port Charles on occasion. Drew and Willow have crossed a line that possibly can't be undone. If Willow continues to run from Drew, but also Michael, and doesn't come clean with him, she could leave her husband distraught and wondering what went wrong. Will Sasha feel obligated to tell him the truth? If so, will Michael's grief over what Willow has done leave him running for Sasha's arms? Hey, what about Cody Bell, Josh Kelly? Keep checking back with us for more GH news and spoilers to see how this plays out. Sasha Gilmore had always been a fighter. From the moment she set foot in Port Charles, she had navigated the tumultuous waters of her life with resilience, clinging to any sliver of hope she could find. She had battled addiction, heartache, and the devastating loss of her son, Liam. Through it all, Michael Corinthos had been a constant presence, offering her a lifeline when she needed it most. But now, as she stood at the crossroads of her life once again, Sasha found herself questioning everything. Her relationship with Cody Bell had been unexpected, a wild card in the deck of her life. Cody was a man of mystery, a drifter with a past he rarely talked about, yet he had an undeniable charm that Sasha found irresistible. He was different from the men she had known before, and in his arms, she had found a sense of adventure she hadn't realized she was missing. Cody had helped her escape the shadows of her past, offering her a glimpse of a future that wasn't defined by grief or guilt. But lately, the cracks had begun to show. Cody's unpredictability, once exciting, now left Sasha feeling unsettled. His secrets, once intriguing, now felt like walls between them. And then there was Michael, steady, dependable Michael, who had been her rock through the worst of times. The pull toward him was something Sasha couldn't deny, no matter how hard she tried. One afternoon, Sasha found herself wandering through the quiet halls of the Corintha's estate, her thoughts a jumbled mess. She had come to visit Wiley, but as she watched the little boy play in the garden, she couldn't help but be overwhelmed by memories of the life she had once envisioned with Michael. They had shared so much pain, but also so much love. The bond between them had been forged in the fires of loss, and though their romantic relationship had ended, the connection remained. Sasha, Michael's voice pulled her from her reverie. She turned to find him standing in the doorway, his brow furrowed in concern. "You okay?" She forced a smile, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just thinking." Michael walked over to her, his presence calm and reassuring. "Wiley's been asking about you. He misses his Aunt Sasha." Sasha's heart clenched at the thought. Wiley was another thread that tied her to Michael, another reason she found it so hard to stay away. She knelt beside the boy, who looked up at her with wide, innocent eyes. "Hey, buddy," she said softly, ruffling his hair. "I've missed you too." Wiley grinned and launched himself into her arms, and for a moment, all of Sasha's worries melted away. But as she held him close, the reality of her situation came crashing back. She had to make a decision, one that could change the course of her life forever. Later that evening, after Wiley had gone to bed, Sasha and Michael sat on the back patio, the cool night air heavy with unspoken words. Sasha sipped her tea, gathering her thoughts, while Michael watched her with those penetrating eyes of his, as if he could see straight into her soul. "You seem different lately," Michael said finally, breaking the silence. "Is everything okay with you and Cody?" Sasha hesitated, unsure of how to answer. "It's complicated," she admitted. "Cody's been great, but sometimes I wonder if we're too different. He's always on the move, always looking for the next adventure. I'm not sure I can keep up." Michael nodded, his expression thoughtful. "You don't have to keep up with anyone, Sasha. You deserve someone who meets you where you are." His words struck a chord deep within her, and she looked at him, really looked at him. Michael was everything Cody wasn't: steady, reliable, safe. But he was also so much more than that. He was the man who had stood by her when she was at her lowest, the man who had helped her rebuild her life piece by piece. The man who, despite everything, still had a piece of her heart. "Do you ever think about what might have been?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Michael's gaze softened, and for a moment, Sasha saw a flicker of the old Michael, the one who had loved her with an intensity that had scared her as much as it had thrilled her. "I think about it all the time," he admitted. "But we've both been through so much. I didn't want to push you into something you weren't ready for." Sasha felt a lump form in her throat, the weight of her emotions threatening to overwhelm her. "I don't know what I'm ready for," she confessed. "But being with Cody, it's made me realize that maybe I've been running away from the one thing I really want." "And what's that?" Michael asked, his voice gentle, but his eyes searching hers with an intensity that left her breathless. "You," she said, the word tumbling out before she could stop it. "I think I've always wanted you, Michael. I just didn't know how to deal with everything that came with that." "You," she said, the word tumbling out before she could stop it. "I think I've always wanted you, Michael. I just didn't know how to deal with everything that came with that." The air between them crackled with tension, the kind that could only come from years of unresolved feelings. Michael reached out, taking her hand in his touch sending a jolt of electricity through her. "Sasha," he began, his voice low and filled with emotion, "I never stopped caring about you. But I want you to be sure. I want you to choose me because it's what you really want, not because you're scared or lonely." Sasha closed her eyes, tears slipping down her cheeks as she tried to sort through the whirlwind of emotions inside her. She had been so focused on moving forward, on finding a new path, that she hadn't allowed herself to consider that maybe the right path was the one she had already been on. But as she sat there, hand in hand with Michael, she realized that he was right. She needed to be sure, and right now she wasn't. Cody was still in her heart, a wild, unpredictable force that she wasn't ready to let go of just yet. "I don't know what the future holds," she said finally, her voice trembling with uncertainty. "But I know I need time to figure it out. I care about you, Michael, so much. But I need to be sure of what I'm feeling." Michael nodded, his expression understanding, though Sasha could see the flicker of disappointment in his eyes. "I'll be here, Sasha. Whatever you decide, I'll always be here." As they sat together in the quiet night, Sasha knew that no matter what happened, she was lucky to have someone like Michael in her life. But as much as she loved him, there was still a part of her that was drawn to Cody, to the unknown future that he represented. And so, as the stars twinkled overhead, Sasha found herself at a crossroads, torn between the comfort of the familiar and the thrill of the unknown. She didn't know which path she would choose, but for the first time in a long time, she was ready to face the journey ahead, no matter where it might lead.